So today we're going to be talking about money mindset shifts. Money mindset shifts is what we're talking about today. Okay. And it's an important topic. It's a very, very important topic, and you will find out why in a moment. But there is a myth. I want to call it a myth. There's a myth in the yoga industry that you can't make money teaching yoga, or that making money or making a business from yoga somehow makes you a bad yogi. Okay. If maybe it's something that you believe or have believed, or you have other people around you that believe this. And definitely, in my time as a yoga teacher and as a yoga business owner, this is something that raises its head every now and again. And it raises its head via a comment on a social media post, or an email landing in my inbox sharing this belief that yoga isn't a business and that I shouldn't be helping yoga teachers to make money teaching yoga. And perhaps this belief, this myth, is subconsciously playing out in your business. And a sign that it is playing out in your business, is that you are undercharging. Are you undercharging, essentially? Because if you are, I want this to really land right now, what I'm going to share with you right now. And it's that back in 2016, okay, so quite some time ago, the yoga industry was worth over $80 billion globally. Okay, the yoga industry was worth over $80 billion globally. And you, as a yoga teacher who is helping people, supporting people in their lives, supporting people to transform their lives and heal themselves, you 100% deserve to make money teaching yoga and to be paid abundantly for what you have to share. And not only that, to have your piece of the yoga industry dollar pie. And the way you do that is by growing your community. And that requires you to be visible. It requires you to show up online with your content and to share your message. And really, it requires you to show up present and powerful. And many teachers hide. They tend to hide when it comes to selling. This is a big mistake. Like, if you are getting to, if you're spending all that time creating something and then you're hiding when it actually comes to the point where you have to tell people, oh, hey, you can go and enroll for this, or here's the link to go and pay for this offering that I've created, is a big mistake. And, a big part of your ability to actually sell and make money is your money mindset and the relationship that you have with money. And this is because, that relationship, or the relationship dynamic that you have with money, it must be seen as a flow of giving and receiving. Okay, so it's not just a one-sided relationship where you're take. Like, this is a flow of giving and receiving. And it's important that you balance out this energy and the relationship in this way. It's like balancing a relationship with anybody. And with money, this relationship, it needs to feel balanced. And, for many of us, most of us, we do have an unbalanced relationship when it comes to money. We do. We all have. And, I'm still working on mine. Like, it's an ongoing practice, and it's ongoing awareness of the money stories that come up. Every time I increase my financial levels of success, let's say, new information comes up to the surface. So, your mindset programs come up. And so you need to constantly be refining your mindset and the dynamics of this relationship that you have with money, and your ability to actually be able to manage money better. So, it's a constant journey. It's a constant journey for me. It'll be a constant journey for you. And this is really why I wanted to talk about this today, because I think it's not been talked about enough. It's this energetics behind the relationship that you have with money. And we can all have quite a negative relationship with money. Am I right? So like we can, can't we? We can have this very negative relationship when it comes to money. And I think what we have to realize is that money isn't bad, right? Money isn't stressful. Money isn't, unhealthy. It is literally just the way that we've been brought up and raised to see money, how we've been brought up to perceive money. And the conversations that were going on around us about money when we were growing up, really, that's where it comes down. That's where it comes. That's where it comes from. It's where it comes back to. And even if you have good intentions around money, you still need to be aware of this. Or even if you feel like you have a good relationship with money, you have a really great money mindset, you still need to be aware of this. And so, it's fair to say that wherever you are right now, like whatever you're thinking or feeling or experiencing when it comes to money or around money is very much to do with the way that you were raised and brought up. And as I said, those conversations that were going on around money at the time. And, it's important to kind of recognize this and to have some awareness around it, because that's how you can then start the process to reprogram your thinking around money. So the intention is not just about, wanting more money. That's not why we're doing this. It's not just about, I want to make more money. Like, why else do you want to make money? Like, why do you want to create money? Because it's about creation. Is it to do with the lifestyle that you want to create? Is it to do with experiences that you want to create? Have a think about this. Why do you want to create what you want to create? Because money is actually nourishment. Like, money is an amazingly powerful enabler. Okay, it helps you to create a better lifestyle for yourself. Yeah, it helps you to be able to create a bigger impact. Definitely. It helps you to be able to create more opportunities, not in just your life, but within your business, which impacts the lives of your students. And, for me personally, like, one of the reasons why I'm really excited for money to nourish me is that I can then reach more people, okay? Because I know that that's my purpose, to reach and help more people. So money helps us to grow, doesn't it? Money helps us to grow, and we're meant to grow. That's what we're meant to do. We are here right now, and we are meant to be expanding here at this time. And money helps us to do that. Money supports us to do that. Like, that's why it's so important to get into a deeper alignment with money. And right now, you might be worrying about money. Maybe you're worrying about not having enough money, or you're worrying about being judged, about people judging you for wanting. There's lots of kind of weird and wonderful belief systems and, stories and thoughts and patterns and behaviors that we all have around money. So I want you to get interested by this. When you start to bring awareness to your stories, get super interested by it. And because we all have these stories, guys, we do. We all have them. And it's so important that we take the time to reprogram the stories and our mindset, because that is what's going to actively support your growth financially. Like, we are all heavily programmed in childhood in terms of, how to think, how to feel, how to act around money. And you might be the first person in your family, hands up if it's you, tell me, who has actually moved into this space of creation and entrepreneurship, and put yourself out there to say, hey, I'm not doing the 9 to 5 that everyone else in my family has done. I'm going to take this different path. Like, I'm here to create something different. I'm here to open up and change my whole family history. I'm changing all of my programming. So you could be the first person in your family to step into that space and to declare that. And, it's never too late, is it? Like, it's never too late. It's just a choice, really. And you can change your mindset. Like, you can reprogram, you can dismantle, you can let go at any point. At any point. It's never too late. And whatever's happened, yesterday, last week, in the past, none of that defines you. None of that defines your future and what's to come. Like, the best is yet to come. And, it's really important to realize and to understand that it's essential that you recognize what your money stories are. And, any limiting beliefs that you might have around money that are actually holding you back. In order for you to be able to make money in your business, you must do this work. You must. As I said, like, this is not talked about enough. And this is really about the energetics of money. Like, if you don't believe that you can make a certain amount of money, or that it's not possible for you, or you don't believe that you deserve it, or that you have to work really hard and burn yourself out in order to make money, then your ability to make money in your business is going to be affected. It's going to be more of a challenge for you because, it will be more of a challenge for you to make money because energetically, your relationship with money is not set up to receive. Okay, so I mentioned that at the start. This relationship dynamic is about giving and receiving. And so healing this so that you can receive money is essential. It's really, we don't talk about this enough. So we're talking about it today. It's about the energetics behind making money. So I really encourage you, all of you, to really take some time to consider what your money mindset is right now. And I want you to really just dive as deeply as you can into this. Like, get under the surface to what is going on. What is going on? This is the first step. This is the first step that you need to take. I want you to spend some time on this, guys. This is the first step to you healing your money stories and to shifting your mindset. The first step is the awareness, right? Are you telling yourself that you don't deserve to make money? Where's that coming from? Are you perhaps scared to make money? Because if you make money, then that means you're creating more success. And actually, there's an underlying fear of success. Sometimes we think that this is always about a fear of failure. It's not always about a fear of failure. There's also a fear of success, as it means that then you have to be more visible in the world. The more successful you are, the more you have to show up, the more visible you have to be. Maybe you're worrying about losing everything. Yeah, you're worrying about losing everything, and making more money actually means there's more money to lose, like if things go wrong. So you can only dismantle these stories when you start to bring awareness to them, and when you start to understand them more and where they originate from. Okay, whatever is coming up for you, when you do this work, when you start to really think about this and break it down, any of these stories that are coming up, at the moment, you're believing them. right? You're believing them. They don't just exist for a reason. They exist because you're believing them and because they're benefiting you in some way, right? On a psychological level, they're benefiting you in some way. They're keeping you safe, okay? These stories keep us safe. So the more you understand about your limiting beliefs, the better, right? So really connecting to this idea that these are stories, okay? So once you've really taken the time to bring awareness of what's going on up here, then connect to the idea or connect to the fact that they are just stories. They're stories. You know, you can say to yourself, oh, that thing that I'm telling myself, that's a story. How interesting. That's a story that I'm telling myself. You know, that's literally just a story. Remember that your mind is made up of stories. It's like you are a big walking storybook. This goes for anything, right? This goes for anything. It's not just about money now. This goes for anything. We have a lot of stories going on up there. And so, you know, with many stories that you are telling yourself, the first step is always awareness, like real awareness, guys. You know, break it down, dismantle it. Wow, how interesting that I'm currently telling myself that I'm going to lose everything. And that is the reason why I'm not allowing myself to create more money, why I am procrastinating on this idea that I have around creating a workshop or a membership or an online course or doing that retreat. Why I'm procrastinating on this? Because I'm telling myself that I don't deserve to make money, you know, so therefore I'm not showing up to sell this new offering that I'm procrastinating on. Or, you know, I'm currently telling myself that it's not okay for me to want to earn more, you know, that I don't deserve to earn more money, or I don't deserve it, you know, that I'm being greedy. How interesting is that I'm doing that? You know, that's something that I've been telling myself my entire life. So start to get really fascinated by what you're actually telling yourself. You know, it's an interesting exercise. And this really, as I said, is like the first step to shifting your mindset around money. You know, you really can create an abundant mindset. As I said, it's always a choice. You don't have to stay where you are right now. You really don't. Like, you can create this abundant mindset so that you can start to invest in yourself. And, you know, I witnessed this when teachers are considering joining a program of ours. So for instance, you know, we've just had enrollment for the Profitable Yoga Teacher program. The doors have closed, by the way, guys. But we just had enrollment, and I've been doing this now for almost 6 years. So I've had many points throughout the year when I would have enrollment open. I've had many conversations with teachers like you guys who are considering investing in themselves. And so I witness the money stories, right? I witness the money mindsets and the different variations in money mindset. And, you know, when teachers are considering joining a program and they're looking at their finances, and of course, you know, if you're a business owner or if you're a new yoga business owner and you're not making any money yet, you know, it can feel like a risk, right, to spend money. But it's very, very interesting to witness different mindsets that people have when it comes to money. You know, the teachers that have the more abundant mindset and they understand that they have to invest in order to accumulate, and that if they do the work, they'll make back their investment and more. You know, then there are some teachers who have less of an abundant mindset, you know, and they only focus on the upfront cost or the monthly payments, and they don't even consider that they will also be receiving money, you know. And it goes back to what I said about this relationship with money and the dynamic of giving and receiving. And, you know, if I think about my own personal journey, my own personal business journey. When I go back 5 or 6 years ago when I started Digital Yoga Academy, I'm not here telling you I have all the answers. I work with coaches and mentors. I get support. I know that it is essential. And, when I go back 5 years ago and I was spending £10,000 to work with a coach, yes, that felt super, super scary. It did. It really, really did. And I wondered, is this the right thing to do? I'd never spent that amount of money with a coach. I made the money back within 2 weeks. Seriously, guys, I made the money back within 2 weeks. And that was great because I'd put that money on my credit card. So I was like going all in, and I'll talk about that more in a moment. But, you have to have a belief in yourself. You have to believe in yourself and your ability to be able to make the money back. And then if I think, a few years ago and investing even more money to join a mastermind, I think it was like 30 grand or something. It wasn't on a credit card, but it was coming out of my business account. Okay. So again, it still felt scary. I'm not saying here that I'm immune from feeling the fear and feeling scared. Of course that comes up. It's your ability to be able to push through the fear that helps you to move forward. And a few months after investing 30,000 with this coach to join a mastermind, it was the first mastermind I'd been in. I've been in many since because they're amazing. I had my first 6-figure launch, right? And so I know that every time I've worked and invested with coaches and mentors, I've always made my money back and more. And I'm actually excited to work with new coaches. Like I'm now looking at the next one, who can I work with now? Who's going to take me to the next level? Every time I know it's going to help me to level up. So you just have to tell yourself and believe in yourself that you will make the money back. And I do believe that there's this kind of magic that happens when you invest, in that it makes you work, right? It makes you put in the work so that you do make the money back, And this has really come from healing my money mindset, from healing the stories that I grew up with, the beliefs that were holding me back from giving money, right? From giving money, i.e. paying coaches, thinking that I could do all of this on my own. I spent way too long in my business, in both of my yoga businesses, thinking I can do all of this on my own. I don't need help. I mean, if I could go back now, I would have healed that story a lot quicker. Definitely, 100%. And right now, you might be doing all of this on your own. I'm here to tell you today, you can't grow your business and do it all on your own. And you shouldn't want to. If your goal is to grow your community, to make a bigger impact in students' lives, to make a bigger impact in your own life, to be able to, afford the things that you want for you and your family. If they are your goals, things that you are aspiring to in the future, you are going to need support in some shape or form. And that might be, business support from a mentor or a coach. But even more likely is that you're going to need support from a VA, like a virtual assistant. You're going to need support from an accountant. You're going to need someone to help you with social media, most likely at some point, As you grow, you'll need support. You might also invest in new systems, like new software, so that it helps you to automate processes in your business so that you can get out from the admin and be more present with your students, so that it helps you to systemize your business. All of these things are essential for you growing your business, and they cost money, don't they? They all cost money. So, you might also invest in some paid advertising. Again, that costs money. You have to spend to accumulate. And your money mindset is a massive part of that, because if you are afraid to spend money and to invest, you're going to be stuck doing everything in your business and you won't grow. Like, you will burn out. That's what will happen. You'll burn out if you think you can do it all. Like, I know we are supermen and super women here, but we can't do it all. And honestly, I just truly believe you shouldn't want to do it all on your own. It's way less fun trying to do everything on your own. And, you know, sometimes it feels risky. All of the time it feels risky, but that feeling, it diminishes the more that you do this, the more that you open yourself up to receiving, it diminishes. And, you know, I remember when I first started and I'd paid, when I first started Digital Yoga Academy, and you'll have heard me talk about the biggest mistake that I made back in the beginning when it came to launching my online course. And the biggest mistake I made was that I started my business and the first thing I did was create my first online course before growing my community, right? I was so excited about creating my course. I got my website up and running. I spent, you know, months creating the course, and then I launched it and I had no one to launch it to because I hadn't spent any time growing my community. Now, related to that mistake, when I set up my website, I also paid for Teachable, which is where I host my programs. I paid for ConvertKit, which is the email software that we use. I paid for lead pages. I paid for everything up front before I'd even grown a community. Yeah. And it was a couple of $100 a month. And at the time, I was teaching yoga in person, right? So I had a number of classes that I'd set up in London each week. I was also running workshops. I was running events. And I started to run some extra events so that I could cover the cost. But actually, and this is key, I knew in my heart and in my bones, like, I knew that I was going to make it work. Like, there was no way that this wasn't going to work. And yes, you know, I may have been paying $100 for Teachable or whatever it was. You know, I think I literally went all in with the pro option, right? And in hindsight, you know, I could have gone for the free option, of course. But I went all in. I went all in. The reason that I went all in is because I knew I was going to make it a success. It was going to be a success. Like, there was no other option available, right? It was going to be a success, and I was going to make sure that I would do everything I could, put my heart and soul into it to ensure that it would be a success. And maybe, you know, it's that mindset that's really loaded with grit and determination that made it a success, right? But it's also the money mindset, isn't it? It's the money mindset of abundance. Like, even though I was spending, right, i.e. giving, yeah, without receiving at the time, I did it anyway because I knew that eventually I would be receiving, right? That it would pay off, like it would pay for itself and more. And my God, like it has. You know, 6 years later, Digital Yoga Academy, you know, it's a multiple six-figure business. Like, we've just had another six-figure launch. It's paid for itself and more over time. And of course, everyone's timeline is going to be different. You know, everyone's timeline is going to be different, guys. You know, I'm not going to say to you, okay, within 6 months, you're going to make this much money. Within a year, you'll make this much money. That's not how it works. You know, there are many factors involved. Ultimately, you are the biggest factor. You're the biggest factor. You're the one that does the work. You're the one that works on your mindset to get over any mindset blocks that are holding you back, and any other blocks around visibility, imposter syndrome, all of these fears that come up. You're the one that has to work on all of these things. This is why most people do the 9 to 5, right? This is why, because being an entrepreneur is a different game. It's a different game that we're playing here. You know, it really, really is. And so if you're watching this right now, know that you're cut out for this. Know that you are, because you wouldn't be watching me right now if you weren't. But also know that it takes time. It takes time, and it takes consistency. You know, it takes grit. It takes determination. Ultimately, it takes you connecting to your purpose, because that is the thing that's going to get you out of bed every single morning to work on this business, which in the beginning can feel like a slog, like there's no one there, no one's engaging. Of course, we all start from zero. Like, that is the fact. That's reality. So you need to be connecting to this purpose of yours in order to keep moving forward. But your money mindset, as I said, is a key factor involved. And, you know, going back to my own story that I was just sharing with you, like I believed in my abundance. You know, I'd been affirming to myself that abundance for many years. It didn't start out that way. You know, I was brought up hearing money doesn't grow on trees. You know, even now, my mother, you know, when I tell her what I'm doing in my business and the successes that I'm having, the first thing she says to me is like, don't spend it all, save it for a rainy day. You know, like I'm still hearing these things. And so I wasn't brought up in abundance. And you can change the course of history. Like, you can be the first person in your family to create wealth and to create impact. And so, you know, I want to remind you of that. You know, I want to remind you today that it is loving for you to have more financial flow in your life. Yeah, and in your business. It is loving for you to create more money. And for you to talk about money, okay? It is loving for you to reprogram your money mindset. And when you learn how to receive more money, you're receiving more energy, right? You're building up your energetic reserves so that you can do bigger and so that you can do better in the world, so you can create a bigger and better impact, and so that you can support yourself. And as I said, support your family, support your community in a bigger way. I want to finish with this. I want to invite you to do an audit, okay? Do an audit of your financial situation, right? I want you to journal. I want you to journal on how you currently feel about money, okay? And what is happening around you in relation to money. So for example, you know, are you currently creating fear and anxiety? Okay, are you currently creating more and more debt? Or do you pay off your credit card and then immediately stack it back up again? Like, what's actually happening in your own personal finances? Or are you hiding from like checking your bank balance? Like, are you avoiding, that's the right word, are you avoiding checking your bank balance because you're afraid of what's going to be there? Or are you, you know, not paying things off on time? All of these things are related to exactly what I've been speaking about today. And they create anxiety and fear around money, okay? Are you overspending? You know, that could be another thing that you're doing right now. Are you spending more money than you have? So do an audit and do some journaling around this as well. And just get really, really clear. Okay, I want you to get really, really clear on what's happening around your money and finances right now. And also just identify during this process exactly what I've been talking about today. So the awareness around the money stories that you might have, the beliefs that you might have, like how are you talking about money? What are you saying about money? Like, imagine if money could hear what you are saying about it, about her. I want to call money a her. So can you imagine if she could hear you? Like, what do you say? Like, imagine when you're moaning about money. Like, what do you want money to hear and what do you not want money to hear? You know, what if money could could read your thoughts, because maybe then you'd change what you're saying about money. Maybe then you'd change your thoughts around money, because you wouldn't want her to hear all of these things that you're saying about her, and she'd get offended and she'd think that you're neglecting her or that you're rejecting her. Okay, and maybe she's rejecting you. So it's really interesting when you start to think about it like that. So do this audit, guys. Spend some time, really sit down, spend some time and really just notice what's coming up in relation to your money mindset. That's what we've been talking about today, guys. Thank you for being here and for listening. This is an important topic, and as I said, it's not talked about enough. And I'll see you very, very soon. Don't forget to go and check out the Yogipreneur podcast. Every single week there's a new episode. And keep learning, keep receiving, keep giving and receiving. Okay, sending so much love to you. Mwah. Take care. Bye-bye.